Hello, everyone, and welcome to the FEE3 2025 interview showcase for Stratagem Lost. I'm here with the lead developer, Smithy. Is that what I should call you? Should I call you a username or?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you
Smithy,
can call me
Smithy.
that. Yeah. Smithy's good. Some people also call me Riley. That's just my first name. But yeah. Thank you
you'll
for having me.
you'll never guess what my
Um,
first name is.
does it start with an O?
It might. I think I forgot to introduce myself. My name's Olivia.
Yeah. Oh
Hello.
yeah. 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 You might want to do that.
And we're going to be talking about your project, which is actually, it's not a hack, it's an indie game. So why
Yeah.
don't you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit, what is Stratagem Lost?
Yeah. And thank you for having me on here.
Of
Very,
course.
very happy to be here, I'll say. Yeah, I love FE3. I've been watching it, I think, at least for over half a decade ago. But yeah, Stratagem Lost. So it's a turn-based strategy game on PC. Guess how it stacks up to like Fire Emblem. Obviously, there's an inspiration, very, very much so. However, bit more of like a aggressive, punkier direction, bit more of an early 2000s kind of feel.
Awesome.
Uh, yeah, and like very just strong art direction. I'll say a lot more of just it's almost got like a Shadow the Hedgehog energy.
That rules.
Is,
Oh, that
is what I'll say.
rules.
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
love Shadow the
Shadow's
Hedgehog.
cool again. Shadow's very cool. I love Shadow as
He's
well.
always been cool. The
He
haters will
always
hate.
has. Yeah. No, we are seeing a kind of return to that almost like 2000s just edginess. I'll say like it is just cool
I'm
again,
kind of
and
living for it, yeah.
I love it myself. I'm so happy about that. But yeah,
It's not often that we like see full on indie games at FE3. We get a couple, but
yeah, yeah, like yeah,
yours in particular
like
has been a mainstay. We've had you how many times? Two times, three times
I
already?
I think this one that we're doing right now it may be number four.
Jeez.
Possibly. I need to check, but I think I started submitting. I think 2021 may have been the first time, and I think back then I think it was just called Stratagem or something like that, and like the name wasn't fully formed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I basically got into just game development because of like FE3 and like FE ROM hacking, because like when I was young. I like video games and stuff like that, but actually making them, I was like, that's hard. I'm not I'm not part of a company. You look at like the big companies, Nintendo, stuff like that. It's like that's huge.
Yeah.
I'm just one guy. But then, I see stuff like ROM hacking and it's just like, okay, this was made by like two people and it's amazing. Something like that. And
It's
yeah,
really a
when I
wonderful scene, the stuff that people have been able to do.
yeah. But like it definitely got me into this mindset of like, okay, I could just do gaming and just make it.
Yeah.
And then I then I tried FE ROM hacking and I could not figure out how to put like a music track to the game. And I was like, this is really hard for my little small brain. And so I didn't do ROM hacking. Instead, I was like, let's do something easier. Let's just code the engine myself.
Let's do
Um,
something easier.
yeah.
Indie
And
game development.
yeah. And so I just started kind of doing all that. And like I like when I'm starting out, I wasn't really having like the big plans for like this is what it's gonna be like later. I was just kind of like, yeah, I can move people around and they can fight and it's very cool and I'm happy. But then eventually, yeah, you make it more sophisticated, you build on that. And then yeah, eventually we just kind of got to where we are today, just as I aged and the game aged with it. I got mature and the game also got more mature and developed with it too, I'll say. And so yeah, it kind of just came out of this more innocent sort of like I just like making games mentality rather
Yeah.
than like, yeah, we're just gonna do it like that.
And that's
Yeah.
really awesome. What were some of the games that like inspired you to do this? Obviously, Fire Emblem is one of them, but what were some
Yeah.
non-Fire Emblem inspirations that you
Yeah.
managed to take as you
Yeah.
went into this?
And I mean like I play a lot of different games, just a lot of different media in general. Because yeah, like I think a lot of people when they're making sort of like similar kind of games, yeah, they'll have some like strategy games they take from. Like I definitely love stuff like XCOM.
Oh,
I
I
love
love
XCOM
XCOM.
so it's so good. Like XCOM 2 is like my comfort game sometimes.
People will literally ping me in FEU when people mention XCOM 2, just so I can come in and gush about XCOM 2.
I no, I love that game. It is mwah, like it is. I and see, it's like it's one of those games where the actual like the game itself sometimes I'm like this game does not work. uh,
It's such a mess.
like this game is like made of like spaghetti, absolutely. But I love it so much. Oh boy, it is really well designed, I'll say. But
really good choice to take design inspiration from then.
Yeah, like I definitely take some inspiration from there. Another game. See, this is the funny example. Because every time I mention this, it just makes it more apparent to me that nobody actually played it. But like Codename Steam. See, you probably didn't play it.
I did not play it. I've heard of it.
That's okay. That was the issue, is that nobody did. I think like I have a very strong memory of like it did have an online sort of like ranked sort of mode or whatever. I remember it telling me that I was like rank number like 13 or something. Meanwhile, I had played like 2 games.
I was like, wow, in the world.
It was like, I must be really good at this game. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like I take a lot from that. Into the Breach is another example. I love that game.
I have played that game. That one's fun.
It's that's like one of the rare like games that I just genuinely cannot find like an issue with. It is very well designed. And then like I take a lot from things like fighting games, like some visual novels, obviously other RPGs and stuff like that. But like I like a lot of different things. Even when it comes to like non-game inspirations. Like obviously there are some things like I like a lot of American kind of shows that I've seen. Like there's the stuff that I used to watch with like my mom and my dad, just like TV. Yeah, I kind of take a little bit of like writing from that. I've really gotten into like horror as of late, and so I take some inspiration from that. Like there's art movements that I grew up with, because I do have like a visual arts background. I went to like an art school, and so like expressionist art I take a lot from. The Dadaism movement I definitely take a lot from, like my own experience, sure, that sort of thing. But then like other things, like I'm very inspired by like rock and metal. I love new metal to death. I know, because people like you say new metal, and like Fred Durst pops into their head, like that sort of thing. And like yeah, it's kind of something where I kind of just love it. I recognize that some people think it's maybe a bit like cringy or whatever. I think specifically more what I tend to gravitate to is that more again sort of like horror inspired branch of new metal. Like definitely stuff like Slipknot and Korn, that sort of thing. But I can appreciate just any of it. Anything that has a guitar, I'm like, yes. But yeah, like you'd be surprised at how much that has influenced the game, because I'm not a musician myself. And so like when it comes to like hearing like certain songs or whatever, I feel like my brain kind of doesn't really know how to process that emotion sometimes. And so it kind of just turns into like visual stuff. That sort of thing. Like there are characters that I can say like, yeah, it was inspired by like this song or whatever.
Stuff like that's like really, really interesting. It sounds like you got like a real melting pot of a game going on.
Oh, absolutely.
I think like probably one of the stronger. Personally, as a creative myself, I think it's generally a pretty good sign if someone's able to draw inspiration from non-obvious sources, right?
Yeah. Like I absolutely agree. Because I think like it's one thing to be like, I like X, so I want to make something like X.
Exactly.
And it's another thing to be like, oh, I like Y, so I'm going to put Y into X. And yeah, like I feel like when you do that latter thing, even if you know exactly what you're taking from, a lot of times I see that people think it's like very creative.
Yeah.
I'll say.
It's all about synthesis.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And like I think the thing that I've like said alongside like the guy that I work with, his name is Nathan. Something that we kind of repeat is like intention instead of convention. As far as like just because something is a certain way within like a genre or a medium, don't need to always do that. You can do your own thing if you just know what you're doing with it. But I hope that clears up some of the inspirations, because there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's absolutely a lot.
I noticed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So as like you're making a standalone title. A lot of stuff at FEE3 is a lot more beholden to the Fire Emblem setup, just because it's built within the Fire Emblem engine.
Yeah.
And obviously, as we mentioned before, on top of all these other inspirations, Fire Emblem is a really big one.
Uh-huh.
So I'm curious, what did you feel was sort of something that you really wanted to keep from that game that you felt was valuable,
Yeah.
and what were you particularly eager to leave behind, get rid of, move on
Yeah.
from?
Yeah, like Fire Emblem, I think that what separates Fire Emblem a lot from like a lot of other, I guess, like strategy games is, yeah, like Fire Emblem has a huge focus on like the characters being unique. And I think that we kind of took that and was like, how far can we push that? Like, I tend to design the characters in this game less like Fire Emblem characters and almost more like fighting game characters. That is again my sort of fighting game background coming into play, because like characters in Fire Emblem have like classes, for one, we don't really have classes. In this game, there are weapon types. Like two characters may share like the same weapon type, but the way they play are extremely different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has completely unique skills, as in like the moves that everybody has is completely different. The passives that they have completely different, and it really just ends up being a case where like, okay, we can do whatever we want with these characters. Like we we have some very unique just people on the cast. Like the current mascot character for the knife weapon is just it's a dog. It's just
Heck
it's a
yeah.
dog with a knife. Yeah, because it's
That
like we can just do that.
rules!
It's like we can just do that. And yeah, like there's a lot of cases of just like I can really create a character that is just fully their own self. You can kind of struggle to do that in Fire Emblem because you do have to adhere to like the class line. That's just how the game's designed.
Mm-hmm.
But at least with this time, I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to kind of just do everything just to the character's sort of preference, that sort of thing.
Or you could
Oh yeah,
have a class line of knife dogs, just have
you
them be
could.
everywhere. There's like 5 knife dogs per map. It's just a normal thing in this setting.
You no, yeah, you could. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like that. That would be a lot of assets to make, but I
Mm-hmm.
do appreciate the vision. um, yeah, and yeah, like characters in this game, because that actually does make sort of a good point of like there aren't really promotions so much as they do just get new skills and stuff. They do end up having a lot of tools at their disposal, but yeah, it is something where that kind of element maybe gets left behind. Uh, it is a case too where we do have to design the game entirely differently. Like we don't really have permadeath in this game. I know, and let me explain, because I know like sometimes you say like, no permadeath and people, it's like heresy, but at least for this game, especially with how unique characters are, permadeath did not feel like a welcome sort of inclusion. It felt like honestly more of a just harsh sort of modifier to the gameplay. The games that have actually done permadeath really well, I would say, again, stuff like XCOM, Into the Breach, Darkest Dungeon. Those are games in which you're basically fielding randos. I do think it's interesting to see this shift, and at least the Fire Emblem fan base, because I do think the nowadays people are a lot more critical of permadeath and Fire Emblem, because it seems like Fire Emblem itself is honestly kind of like almost ashamed of permadeath sometimes. You know, with like stuff like the turn wheel, like Three Houses is very
Yeah.
like very not kind to permadeath in Three Houses.
See, I always
Uh,
figured what it was that ever since they started doing voice acting, it got way more
yeah,
expensive to do like a new unit. Like in
yeah, it's gotten
GBA, all you
harder.
need is a
Oh,
portrait
absolutely.
and you've got your new unit. But back,
Yeah,
jump to now, and every new character is an entirely unique model and set of animations and
yeah.
unique voice lines and like 20 supports, which are also all voiced because
Oh,
they have way
yeah,
too many
yeah,
supports in these games. And the
yeah,
end result is
yeah,
casts have gotten much smaller, which also
yeah, yeah,
necessitates like when you lose a unit, it's way more punishing because you have way less
yeah,
units to fill each role versus something like
yeah,
FE6 where you're drowning in units who fill very similar roles throughout the whole
yeah.
runtime.
Yeah, no, and I definitely agree. You can tell they're not really designed to just swap out whoever for whoever at any given time. It is very much a here's your little precious special person, and you need to take this person to the end game. And like when it comes to that, they have to make a lot of concessions with stuff like the turn wheel, all of that. And so you take an experience like what we're trying to make right now, which I feel like we go even kind of further with like the uniqueness of characters, as far as like if you lose your staff character, you just don't have really anybody that can replace them. Like sorry, buddy. And so yeah, we kind of were just like, let's not force it. Let's just design the game around it. Instead, we kind of have like challenges to where like if you clear a map with no casualties, then yeah, you get like a reward for that. Instead, we turn, I guess, like it into a goal rather than a penalty.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm like that's something that I kind of went back and forth on for quite a while. But yeah, like that, I think I'm proud of what's going to happen with that. And like even then, there's like maybe like campaign modifiers that we'll do that can change that sort of thing. But in general, yeah, it's a major design shift, I'll say.
Yeah, no, I like stuff like that. I'm
Oh yeah,
personally on the side of no permadeath as a valid design decision. As
yeah,
much as I think
yeah,
permadeath is cool.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. It can definitely be cool. You have to design around it. Like XCOM does it so well. And Into the Breach does it really well as well.
mhm.
And
To
then yeah, Dark Expansion too. Mhm.
move on to the next question here.
Oh yeah, yeah,
As you mentioned before, you've been at FE3 several times before. Would you like to tell the audience how much your game has grown since the last time you were here? I know you told me a little bit about it,
yeah,
but uh,
yeah. So and like yeah, last year was right around when we were doing the Kickstarter, and yeah, like that was a big year because that was the year that we introduced. Yeah, we have voice acting and we have battle animations. And I mean like now we're just kind of building the game because we got funded. Happy
yeah.
ending. Which hey, like thank you guys to the people that supported us. I am very thankful for it. I every day I wake up and I consider myself lucky. But yeah, I mean like we as of recording right now, we recently released the alpha to our backers.
Ooh,
Like basically the alpha of like the game's first arc, about 10 chapters. And yeah, I mean it was positive. I thought that the game would like be on fire and people would lose all faith in me. But no, they were like, "Hey, this is good. Hope we see more."
that's always
Um,
reassuring. Yeah.
yeah, only a couple crashes, but yeah. Now we're just kind of progressing forward. Kind of be releasing like the beta, like with hopefully within like a month or so. Hopefully by the time this comes out, the beta will already be out.
And if
Um,
it is, there'll be a link to it in the description. Feel free to
yeah, if it
check it
is,
out.
yeah, and yeah, we're just kind of at a pace of like we like the game's basically structure is good to go, and we just kind of keep making it.
All
And
right.
obviously we adapt some things, like we take feedback and just be like, okay, maybe we could do this a little bit differently, maybe we could do that a little bit differently. But yeah, we're on a steady kind of growth forward, I'll say.
All right. I'm going to skip a couple questions here and try to
Yeah,
combine them
that's okay.
into
Yeah, that's
something
okay.
that you haven't already answered with the other things. In terms of the sort of the flow of the moment to moment gameplay, right? What sets this game apart from a game like Fire Emblem or other strategy RPGs? Like,
Yeah,
how do maps play out? Are they shorter,
it's
longer? How is
yeah.
combat done?
It's interesting because I think that the game is at a point where I just like early on in development, I would kind of design maps, basically like Fire Emblem maps. Now I just can't because the game is so wildly different. Like the game has like a stamina system that yeah, your characters can do multiple actions per turn, and it basically puts a resource on like the action economy. Like that is your action economy is the stamina. So it's the sort of thing where now the way that the game's designed, the game is a lot more interesting when the player doesn't get to decide the pace of the game. Like the game lends itself really well to a lot of like defend or survival chapters. Like admittedly, just stuff like get from point A to point B. We don't really do that as much.
Hmm.
Yeah, like it is a lot more. I think it's kind of intense
Right. So it's like a
sometimes.
high pressure kind of game.
Yeah, and like the stuff you can do is very wild. Like you can like throw people in any direction. Like basically, I guess in Fire Emblem terms, it's like what if you could do smite in like any direction on anybody?
Oh, so kind of like
Uh,
Disgaea, right?
I think Sky has a similar thing. I think I haven't played too much of it, but yeah, kind of like you have a lot more control over stuff like the positioning of enemies, the skills you have are pretty powerful, that sort of thing. You can make some crazy plays with it. And I think that's what we kind of like to build to, is these just wild strategies that people end up doing. It does mean that, yeah, game is designed very differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I like it. It's taken a while to kind of get there. I think things are in a good spot though.
Yeah, it sounds like an exciting thing. I love
Oh
nice
yeah.
high pressure maps.
Oh yeah.
And it
Oh
goes
yeah.
well with, I think at least, with the game's aesthetic,
Oh
which I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's very, very
Yeah.
striking. I mentioned earlier before we started the interview
Yeah.
that looks a little bit Project Moony in some places. It looks a little
Yeah.
Persona 5 in other places.
Yeah. 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 Persona
I'm curious
vibes.
how you landed on the overall look for this game.
Yeah. So I think the like original kind of like direction for it, like when I was still kind of making it at like the early stages, it was like, yeah, we're probably going to do anime. How exactly? Not quite sure. In high school, I loved printmaking, specifically like linoleum. I don't know if you've ever seen linoleum. Linoleum is like you basically have just like a almost like a block of like concrete in a way, and then you just take a almost like a knife and you just cut into it,
Huh.
and then you put ink on it, and then you just slap it down like carving basically. And I just kind of love the look of it because it's like it's very heavy blacks. It's like sort of very contrast heavy because like it's either black or white. The kind of art that you can make with it, and you can get fancy with it, but in general, it's very sort of like it's either the color or it isn't. And so it does lend well to like the kind of aesthetic that we have today, where it's very heavy on like the blacks. The outlines are thick. It's very aggressive and very freeform and expressionistic. It
Hmm.
does have that sort of printmaking line texturing.
Yeah, the word that
Um,
always came to mind to me when I was looking at it was it almost looks inky.
yeah, yeah, very inky, very. There's an aggression in it, and yeah, like I'll definitely say that like it's not the cleanest style out there. It's not like a style that is extremely like sophisticated. I think that for what the game is, it fits it to a T. Like this is not meant to be some sort of game that is like extremely, I guess, like high art and very like big and beautiful. It's supposed to be raw, grungy, just in your face, very overpowering. And
Yeah,
like we yeah
like
we've
new
become a little bit
metal.
like new metal or like the sort of things that I've been inspired by. Generally, yeah, it is very boom in your face. Like it's hard to not look at it. But yeah, it's become a little bit more sophisticated over time. But I really like the way it looks now.
Awesome. All right, we're on to the last couple questions, real quick.
Sure.
Um, the first one we're gonna just slightly order, just nice and short. How
Okay.
much playtime do you expect this game to be when it's over?
So I do think anywhere from like 20 to 30 hours, probably closer to like 25 to 30.
All right.
Yeah, just kind of like I think the main game that I've sort of taken the structure of and just been like, let's try to kind of match that has been like Conquest. So like about 26 chapters, and yeah, like it should be just about that. Um
Alrighty. And then, and I love this question every time.
uh
What's your personal favorite part of the project? Feel free to
So
gush and just
yeah.
like whatever gives you the most silly little joy in the whole game.
I think that my favorite part of just creating this is like I just like making characters. I'll say I almost tend to view story and characters as being like the exact same thing when I consume media. Pretty much all the media that I'm like, this has a really good story. Usually it's because it has really good characters.
Yeah,
Um
I love good
and
character writing. It's so good.
yeah, yeah, and like I think just I have a very visual, kind of tangible approach to the way that I guess create characters. Probably my visual art background coming into play, where when I create a character, I want them to just embody who they are and basically everything that they do, everything that they say, the way they look, every sort of aspect of that. And it's been really cool just seeing it from the start to the finish because we're like the shift from last year was we didn't have animations, we didn't have voice acting before. But once those two were added, it's like everything comes together so beautifully, and these characters just have so much more personality from that. Like, it makes a huge difference.
It really
Absolutely.
does. As someone who's also worked on a game that got voice acting pretty late into development. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, it is.
Yeah.
It is a weird moment when you finally get to hear. I cried.
Yeah. Oh no,
I cried when I watched
Yeah.
the first chapter of my game. It's just like a silly, no stakes dialogue scene, and I was still sitting there,
Yeah.
tears in my eyes, like those are my kids.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah, no,
voices.
Yeah, I got like a little teary eyed too.
It's
Like,
it's an
it was
amazing
from this.
moment.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's hard to explain to people that haven't done it, but it's like, oh, just everything just kind of makes sense.
It's like watching them
And
come to life.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, I'm glad you feel the same way though.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's probably my favorite part is I love these fellas. Um,
that's
and
so awesome.
yeah, I'm going to be excited to see what people think of them because it's
Yeah,
very different. Obviously, we take that sort of punk angle to its natural conclusion with some of these characters because yeah, definitely a lot more attitude, definitely a lot more argumentative. But yeah, I really love this cast. I'll say some of them we haven't even seen yet. We'll see them in the future, so keep an
ooh,
eye out for that. Ooh.
exciting.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
oh yeah.
Do you have any closing remarks for the audience, or for me, if there's anything that you
Uh,
wanted to say that I never got to touch on?
Yeah, I think mostly just I want to give a thank you to FE3 because I mean every year every 3 has been really I think just generous with like their time and them just being open to something like this.
Oh,
And
thanks.
then yeah, I mean thanks to like our backers and supporters, I literally could not have done it without the backers and supporters. I consider myself like lucky in that aspect, and so yeah, we have like a really just tight knit positive community, and I'm very thankful for it.
That's
But
lovely.
yeah, and thank you to whoever's watching this.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Yeah,
watching,
yeah,
and thank you,
yeah.
Smithy, for
Oh
letting
yeah,
me
and
interview
thank
you
yeah,
and contributing to our event. Because
yeah,
without
yeah,
creators like you, I don't think the event would be nearly as special as it is.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Thank you for interviewing me. Absolutely.
if you all at home really enjoyed this interview, there will be more like it. So stay tuned.
Hmm.
And of course, there are several other showcases besides trailers, gameplay, you know. So keep an eye out for those. I hope you have a wonderful FEE3, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.
Yep. See ya.